Starving cancer. The surprising power of fat that could save lives. Imagine a disease so relentless, so unstoppable, that it seems to devour life itself. Cancer doesn't just grow, it feasts. Scientists have known for over a century that tumors gorge on sugar like a wildfire consuming a dry forest. The question that has haunted researchers ever since is simple, yet terrifying. If cancer's hunger is its greatest strength, could it also be its greatest weakness? Now here's the twist. No one saw coming. The very thing we've been taught to despise. Fat might hold the secret weapon. Not in pills, not in chemicals, but in the soft tissue inside our own bodies. Picture this, instead of fighting cancer with poisons or burning rays. What if our own fat cells could rise up and cut off the fuel cancer depends on? It sounds impossible, almost like science fiction. Yet the first sparks of this discovery are real and they're happening right now. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover a story that stretches from century-old experiments to cutting-edge breakthroughs, from failed miracle diets to an unexpected ally hidden beneath our skin. And by the end, you'll see why many scientists now believe the cure might have been inside us all along. If you've ever worried about your health or lost someone you love to cancer, this is a story you cannot afford to miss. But here's the key to understand how fat cells could play this unexpected role. We first need to uncover the truth about cancer's endless hunger, why tumors consume sugar so fiercely, and how this ancient weakness could one day be turned against them. To truly grasp why cancer is so dangerous, we must first understand its hunger. Unlike healthy cells which grow and divide only when the body needs them, cancer cells are insatiable. They crave sugar at an alarming rate, consuming up to 200 times more glucose than normal cells. Think of your body as a city. Every cell is a house drawing just enough electricity to keep the lights on. Cancer, however, is like a building gone rogue. Windows glowing day and night, draining the entire power grid. No matter how much fuel it gets, it always demands more. This phenomenon has a name: the Warburg effect, discovered nearly a century ago. Scientists observed that even when oxygen is plentiful, cancer cells prefer to ferment sugar, an inefficient process that requires constant refueling. It's like choosing to drive a car with the parking brake on, guzzling gas but refusing to stop. And here's the chilling truth. This sugar addiction doesn't just feed cancer. It also makes it stronger, helping tumors spread, resist treatment, and even trick the immune system into ignoring them. For decades, this relentless appetite has been one of cancer's greatest weapons and humanity's greatest obstacle. But history shows us that every weakness hides inside a strength. If sugar is cancer's fuel, could cutting it off or replacing it with something else be the key to stopping it? To answer that, we must journey back through the strange and often controversial experiments that tried to starve cancer long before fat cells ever entered the conversation. Once scientists realized that cancer's obsession with sugar was more than coincidence, the race began to find a way to cut off its food supply. The idea was simple: starve the tumor, and it cannot grow. But as history shows, simple ideas often lead to complicated realities. In the early 20th century, researchers experimented with low-sugar diets, believing that reducing glucose intake would weaken tumors. Patients were placed on strict regimens, some nearly eliminating carbohydrates entirely. Yet the results were disappointing. Cancer cells, it turned out, are cunning. Even when sugar in the bloodstream was low, they could steal fuel from other sources or force the body to break down muscle and fat into glucose. By the 1970s, attention turned to the ketogenic diet, a high-fat, low-carb approach that forces the body into burning fat instead of sugar. Some studies showed promise with slowed tumor growth in lab animals, but in human patients the outcomes were mixed. Maintaining the diet was difficult and results varied widely depending on the cancer type. Other experiments focused on drugs that could block glucose transporters, the tiny doorways cancer cells use to pull sugar inside. For a moment it seemed like a breakthrough, but the problem was that healthy cells need those same doorways. Shutting them down harmed the body almost as much as the tumor. These early failures carried an important lesson. cancer is not easily tricked. You cannot simply take away its favorite food without consequences. It adapts, it resists, it finds another path. Yet hidden within these struggles was a clue scientists didn't fully appreciate at the time. Fat cells weren't just passive storage units, they were active, intelligent, and possibly an untapped ally. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Because while most researchers were focused on sugar, a smaller group began asking a daring question. What if the secret wasn't in taking fuel away, but in using the body's own fat to fight back? For decades, fat was seen as the villain of health. Doctors warned us it clogged arteries, expanded waistlines, and shortened lives. It was the thing we were told to fight, not trust. But then quietly, scientists began noticing something unusual. Fat cells weren't as passive as once believed. Far from being simple storage units, fat cells are metabolically active factories, constantly releasing hormones, signaling molecules, and even influencing the immune system. They talk to other cells, send out chemical messages, and respond to the body's needs. In the lab, researchers observed fat cells doing something unexpected. Under certain conditions, they appeared to interfere with the very sugar pathways cancer cells relied on. Instead of feeding tumors, some fat-derived compounds acted like guards, blocking access to fuel or even redirecting it elsewhere. Even more intriguing, scientists found that stem cells from fat tissue cells that can transform into many types of tissue were capable of influencing tumor behavior. Some early experiments suggested they could slow cancer growth by altering the environment around tumors, cutting off their supply lines. This discovery was shocking. Could the same tissue we tried so hard to eliminate with diets and exercise actually be a hidden ally in one of the deadliest battles of our time? The answer was complicated and not without controversy. Some studies showed fat helping cancer grow, while others revealed its protective potential. What was clear, however, was this fat was far more powerful and mysterious than anyone had imagined. To unravel this paradox, scientists had to look deeper beyond the surface of fat cells into the microscopic machinery that controls them. And what they found led to one of the most promising frontiers in cancer research today. As technology advanced, so did our ability to peer into the hidden world of fat cells. What once looked like a soft, useless cushion was revealed to be a highly organized, dynamic system. And within this system, scientists uncovered a startling possibility: fat might not just coexist with cancer, it could fight it. In cutting-edge labs, researchers began isolating adipose-derived stem cells, tiny powerhouses tucked inside fat tissue. These cells weren't just flexible, they could be engineered, coaxed, and directed. In some experiments, they were trained to deliver anti-cancer drugs directly to tumors, like microscopic messengers sneaking past enemy lines. Even more astonishing, certain fat cell signals appeared to disrupt the metabolic addiction of cancer cells. Remember that insatiable hunger for sugar. In some studies, fat-derived molecules blocked the pathways cancer used to feed itself, forcing tumors into weakness. There was also evidence that fat cells could activate the immune system, turning natural killer cells and T cells into sharper, more aggressive hunters of tumors. Instead of fueling disease, fat became a communication hub, tipping the balance in favor of healing. But here's where the story takes on even greater weight. Unlike synthetic drugs that often come with devastating side effects, our own fat is biocompatible. It belongs to us. That means treatments based on fat cells might avoid the toxicity that has plagued chemotherapy for decades. Imagine using your own body's resources to create a tailor-made defense against cancer. Of course, every discovery comes with shadows. For all its promise, fat is still a double-edged sword, capable of healing in some cases and harming in others. To understand the true future of this research, we must confront the controversy head-on. Every discovery in medicine carries with it both hope and risk, and fat cells, for all their promise, are no exception. While some studies show them blocking cancer's fuel supply, others reveal a more troubling picture in certain environments. Fat cells can actually help tumors grow. Here's why. Cancer is cunning. Instead of starving some tumors, learn to feed directly on nearby fat-drawing lipids like a thief siphoning fuel from a tank. These fatty acids can then power the tumor's growth, allowing it to spread even faster. In breast and ovarian cancers, for example, scientists observed tumors literally pulling energy from surrounding fat tissue. Another complication lies in stem cell therapy itself. While adipose-derived stem cells are incredibly versatile, their flexibility can sometimes backfire. If not carefully controlled, they may create conditions that tumors exploit, strengthening blood vessels that feed cancer instead of cutting them off. And then comes the biggest challenge of all: the human body is endlessly complex. What works in a petri dish or in mice does not always translate to people. Clinical trials are still small, and results are mixed. For every headline declaring fat as a cancer-fighting miracle, there's another reminding us of the risks, the unknowns, and the unanswered questions. But that doesn't mean the hope is lost. Instead, it highlights the need for balance, to see fat cells not as heroes or villains, but as tools. Tools that, if guided correctly, could transform medicine. Tools that might one day let us fight cancer with the very substance we once feared most. And this brings us to today's frontier. Around the world, scientists are exploring bold new therapies, weaving together the mysteries of fat, the precision of modern medicine, and the timeless strength of the human body. The future of cancer treatment may look very different, and it could begin with the cells hidden just beneath our skin. Science may be unlocking the secrets of fat cells in the lab, but here's the truth. You don't need to wait for futuristic treatments to start empowering your body today. Simple everyday habits can awaken stem cells, sharpen your immune defenses, and create an internal environment that makes it harder for cancer to thrive. First, gentle morning movement. Activate your circulation. When you begin your day with a walk, light yoga, or even simple stretches, you're not just loosening your joints, you're increasing blood flow, delivering oxygen, and signaling your stem cells to repair and regenerate. Movement is a daily message to your body. Stay alive, stay strong. Second, intermittent fasting. Give your body time to heal. A daily 12-16-hour fast allows your system to shift from constant digestion to cellular repair mode. During this window, stem cells become more active, damaged cells are cleared, and your metabolism resets. It's like pressing a reset button for your body every single day. Third, prioritizing restorative sleep, your nighttime pharmacy. While you sleep, your stem cells work hardest, repairing tissues, strengthening immunity, and restoring balance. Aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality rest creates the perfect internal environment for healing. Think of it as the most natural, powerful medicine available, free, nightly, and essential. Fourth, stress mastery. Protect your body's inner balance. Chronic stress is like poison for stem cells, slowing their function and weakening your defenses. Practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or simply taking quiet moments outdoors protect the body at the cellular level, allowing your healing systems to thrive. Fifth, hydration. Fuel for every cell. Water carries nutrients, removes waste, and supports every biological process. Staying hydrated ensures that your stem cells are working in a clean, efficient environment, like giving them fresh air instead of smoke-filled lungs. Now that we've seen how lifestyle choices can amplify your body's natural healing powers, the next step is even more fascinating: how the foods you eat can actually starve cancer while protecting healthy cells, a daily defense available on every plate. What if the simplest weapons against disease have been sitting quietly in your kitchen all along? Science is now rediscovering what many cultures have whispered for centuries: that certain foods do more than nourish. They fight. Imagine each bite as a soldier, not only feeding your body, but standing guard against illness. Let's begin with berries. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These tiny jewels aren't just sweet treats. They are loaded with anthocyanins, compounds proven to reduce inflammation and slow down abnormal cell growth. One study from Harvard even found that older adults who ate berries at least twice a week, showed slower cognitive decline. So it's not just your body these little fruits protect. It's your memory, your independence, your ability to stay sharp. Then there are cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts. These greens contain sulforaphane, a powerful compound that encourages your body to flush out damaged cells before they become dangerous. For someone over 60, a serving of broccoli isn't just dinner. It's like spring cleaning for your cells. Don't overlook green tea, a drink loved for centuries in Asia. Within its leaves lies EGCG, an antioxidant so potent that researchers have called it nature's chemotherapy. Daily cups of green tea can help balance metabolism, lower cancer risk, and even improve heart health. Imagine trading your afternoon soda for a warm cup of tea, not only soothing, but quietly protective. And here's a surprising ally: garlic. Beyond flavor, garlic's sulfur compounds help strengthen your immune system and slow the growth of harmful bacteria and even cancer cells. For our older audience, it's not just about taste, it's about resilience. Finally, a hidden gem: turmeric, the golden spice. Curcumin, its active ingredient, has been studied for its ability to block inflammation at the cellular level. When paired with black pepper, its power increases dramatically. A pinch in your soup, your tea, even sprinkled over eggs can become a daily shield. Nature has given us a pharmacy disguised as food. Every plate can be an opportunity, every bite a step toward resilience. It doesn't demand wealth or high technology, only awareness and daily choices. If these foods can serve as silent guardians, how do we turn knowledge into habit? Because knowing isn't enough. Living it every day is where the real power lies. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Awareness is powerful, but action is where change is born. Imagine this. Berries protect your memory, green tea strengthens your cells, and turmeric calms inflammation. But unless they find their way into your daily rhythm, their power remains untapped. The good news: it doesn't require a drastic overhaul. In fact, the most lasting habits are often the smallest ones. Think of your day as a canvas, and each healthy choice as a brushstroke. Slowly, consistently, you paint a picture of resilience. Start with the morning ritual. Instead of rushing into coffee with sugar, try beginning your day with a warm cup of green tea. Add a slice of lemon. Not only does it brighten the flavor, but it also boosts antioxidant absorption. Imagine this quiet pause, steam rising your body, receiving its first gift of protection for the day. At breakfast, swap processed cereal for oatmeal, topped with blueberries or raspberries. Each spoonful not only satisfies, but silently guards your brain and blood vessels. During lunch, consider adding a serving of broccoli or kale to your plate. Whether steamed, roasted, or tossed into a salad, these cruciferous vegetables do their quiet work: cleaning, protecting, renewing. In the afternoon, instead of chips or sweets, try a handful of walnuts or almonds. Packed with omega-3 fatty acids, they fuel your brain and help stabilize blood pressure. Pair it with another cup of tea for a moment of calm amidst the busyness. At dinner, let your food be both comforting and healing. A vegetable stir-fry with garlic, turmeric, and black pepper turns an ordinary meal into a medicinal feast. Pair with lean protein like salmon or chicken, and you've nourished both strength and defense. The secret isn't perfection, it's consistency. Even if you begin with just one change a day, like replacing soda with green tea or adding a handful of berries, you set a ripple effect into motion. Small steps build momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Remember, health at this stage of life is not about restriction. It's about empowerment. Each choice is not a punishment, but a gift to your future self, to your family, to the life still waiting to be lived with vitality. And as these habits begin to shape your days, there's one final piece we must address: the balance between hope and reality. Because while prevention is powerful, embracing the present moment, our resilience, our gratitude, our connection is just as essential. That is where our journey leads next. As we reach the end of this journey, take a deep breath with me. Think about everything we've uncovered: the hidden hunger of cancer, the unexpected allies in fat cells, the quiet power of natural foods, and the daily habits that transform ordinary moments into shields of protection. But beyond all the science and strategies, there is something deeper: the gift of time. Each small step you take, choosing tea instead of soda, reaching for berries instead of sweets, sprinkling turmeric into your soup, isn't just about avoiding disease. It's about gaining more mornings to wake up to the laughter of your grandchildren, more afternoons to walk in the park with a friend, more evenings to share stories at the dinner table. Health at its heart isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom to move without pain, freedom to remember without struggle, freedom to live with energy and dignity. And the beautiful truth is this: it's never too late to begin. Whether you are 60, 70, or even 80, each choice still matters. Every moment offers a chance to write a different ending to your story. So, today, I leave you with a simple invitation. Choose one habit, just one, and begin. Maybe it's a morning tea, maybe it's a walk after dinner, maybe it's a handful of nuts instead of chips. Start there and let momentum carry you forward. And remember, you are not alone. This community, this space is built to walk with you. If today's message touched your heart, share it with someone you love. Because health multiplies when it is shared. Finally, if you want more gentle guidance, more stories of healing, and more practical steps to live fully at every age, don't forget to subscribe, like, and join our growing family here. Together, we will keep learning, keep supporting, and keep choosing life, one hopeful step at a time. Because in the end, it's not just about fighting disease. It's about living with joy, gratitude, and love for as many days as life gives us.